Material attachments will inhibit you. July 22, 2014. When you channel, create art, or do anything else that requires the utilization of your greater creativity, you're encouraged to delve as far below your ego-driven surface as possible. In doing so, you'll receive the creative revelations your higher selves and guides have to offer you, and you'll find that all of your creative ventures flow easily when you can release any attachments and express whatever comes forth, naturally and easily. The conscious public is learning how to hone and master the greater abilities you're becoming aware of, and you're wholeheartedly encouraged to practice detachment from your external reality. Your physical reality, as well as your ego, which attempts to keep it in place, harbors so much pain, misery and unhappiness, and you won't do yourselves or anyone else justice by continuing to feed into them. Instead of focusing solely on your external reality, allow yourselves to constantly connect with spirit in the deepest and purest sense possible, for you'll find an everlasting higher dimensional link when you do. No reservations. When you can let yourselves simply connect without any reservations or mental rigidity, you'll find the creative flow you seek, and your ability to pick up on the energies and impressions of the higher realms and use them to strengthen your creative works will grow exponentially. You're already sharpening your ability to pick up on the energies of the divine and transmit them into your creative works, and while some of you still have a ways to go before you can hit the creative sweet spot you so enjoy, it shouldn't be much longer before a much broader portion of the conscious public is able to utilize their creativity and the energy they carry within in the ways that work best for them. The deeper you can go, the less you can attach yourselves to materiality in any form, the more potent your creative works will be. If you harden your perception by living constantly in the ego, you'll find that you're unable to access and benefit from your creative flows. This is because the ego keeps you in too hardened of a place to receive the insights and impressions Spirit offers, and for this and plenty of other reasons, it's essential that you transcend your already fading egos, and cease letting them influence you in the ways they've been able to for so long. The ego can act as an inhibitor of your ability to receive clear and pure higher dimensional impressions, and despite the extent to which the ego strives to inhibit the seekers who feed into it, you can transcend it and everything about your physical reality that you know doesn't serve you in the ways they used to. As you continue to learn and grow, you'll find that many of the things you once enthusiastically pursued no longer work for you, and in realizing this, you may feel as if you've been forced to focus your perception on other things. It isn't necessarily that you're being forced to do anything, but as you reach a purer state of consciousness, certain things that once resonated wholeheartedly no longer will. You're leaving the lower vibrations behind in every way, and needless to say, you can take anything lower vibrational with you into the homes you're crafting for yourselves with your actions and intentions on the earth. Your society offers plenty of distraction and subversion, and unfortunately, waves of earthly souls have been lost in the materiality that blocks your minds and hearts from the creative and loving inspiration Spirit constantly provides. The endless search for vain, material things that satisfy one's ego for a short time before becoming undesirable, has unfortunately stopped waves of souls from opening up to their divine heritage and the ability they possess and can act on. But the conscious public is refusing to let the luster of the lower vibrations keep them from rediscovering the divine and acting on their purpose in being on your planet at this time. Those of you who feel as if you're on the earth for an important reason are encouraged to understand that you absolutely are. Refraining from faltering is essential for those of you who want to work especially hard to raise awareness of the spiritual truths of your existence, and if you let yourselves falter, you'll find that it's much harder to reach the spiritually pure place you want to reach. We mentioned your creative sweet spot earlier in this message, and this sweet spot is synonymous with the higher dimensions you're growing toward as you continue opening your minds and expanding your hearts. You can keep yourselves from reaching this place by feeding into mental rigidity or seeking to satisfy the seemingly endless desires of the ego, but you'll only hold yourselves back if you do. The assistance of waves of guides. We are confident that you don't want to keep yourselves from rediscovering the divine, but we note how easy it can be to feed into anger and myriad other qualities that lower your vibration, and temporarily block your chakras from receiving the increasingly pure energy you're being given from various realms and higher dimensional entities. We've tasked ourselves with assisting each of you along your difficult but worthwhile ascension journeys, and in every moment, you'll find that you have the assistance of waves of guides, not to mention your higher selves. We've said plenty of times that the higher self helps you with your ascension process the most, and beyond the guidance you can receive from your higher selves, you can connect with myriad guides who wish to help you navigate your journeys and the challenges that come with them in any way we can. Service is our aim in connecting with humanity, and if we didn't have anything worthwhile to offer you, we wouldn't seek to connect with you as much and as often as we do. We do seek this connection, however, because from our perspective, humanity still has a lot to learn, and we'll be delighted to do everything we can to help you learn. Growth is one of the purposes of your earthly existence, and while some of you are on your earth to help others become aware of spirit and navigate their ascension journeys, your prime task is to ascend yourselves, to climb up the ladder of consciousness as you help others become aware. Take some time for yourselves to relax and/or meditate. Bask in the glow of the energy you're receiving from various realms and various souls, and know that beyond all of your hard work and service to humanity, it's important to serve yourselves. We don't recommend greed or selfishness, but we do recommend treating yourselves every now and then, letting yourselves feel the joy and harmony that are meant to emanate from every soul. It's okay to enjoy yourselves and your existence on the earth, despite how dark or negative your planet seems to be. An intense amount of darkness and light exist on the earth, and while we recommend centeredness over anything, we'll say that you can feed into the light in extremely intense ways at this time if you let yourselves. By serving others and serving yourselves in a balanced sense, you can aid the light more than you would have ever thought possible, and your work to help humanity become aware will be much more potent when you do. Balance is essential to being or doing anything pure or helpful, but there is certainly nothing wrong with feeding into the light as much as you can, in an effort to help yourselves and everyone around you reach a higher state of consciousness. We recommend any practice that helps you attune to the energies and impressions you're being given, and whether you practice channeling, meditation, or any other form of higher vibrational attunement, you'll increase your divine perception with each practice, and, eventually, you'll find that you broke the barrier that held you back from discovering and acting on your deeper spiritual abilities. Every amazing and marvelous higher dimensional ability you've heard about lives within and can be accessed, but to hone these abilities, it's essential to practice focused, centered reflection on the inner self. By this we meant it's important to explore your inner perception far more than your outer, and your physical reality doesn't hold a candle to the higher vibrational reality that lives within. Your external reality is nothing like the internal reality you're just beginning to rediscover, and when your greater connection seems blocked or you don't feel like you can explore your inner universe properly, you can release whatever emotional or material attachment might be holding you back. If you don't feel like such an attachment exists, feel free to really explore yourselves, your tendencies and habit patterns. In doing so, you might find that something was hidden beneath the surface that entailed an attachment to physicality. You can constantly connect. Even when you don't feel like you can connect with spirit in any way, you're constantly able to make the greater connection you seek. It's simply that sometimes, material attachments that many seekers don't even know are there, will inhibit you from connecting with spirit or using your connection to help others become aware. We note that many seekers feel very disconnected when they're unable to express their creativity, and in many cases, this inability is caused by a relentless attachment to materiality that, at the surface, seems all but subdued. Below the surface, however, the attachment could be very strong and could influence one more than they realize. There are a lot of challenges to existing on the earth and raising your vibration in the face of the nearly endless temptations to feed into destructive ways of being that hold you back and keep you from achieving your mission, but we're confident in your ability to handle the challenge, despite how difficult or impossible it might seem. It certainly isn't, but you have to be strong and disciplined enough not to accept the fabrications your society would have you believe are reality. Connecting with spirit and using this connection to help others requires being clear and pure receptors for spirit's expression, and if anything is holding you back or keeping you from surrendering your ego and falling blissfully into your divine center, you're encouraged to find and transmute it before it does any more damage to your growth. By this point, we are confident that you know what will and won't hurt your growth, and if you're willing to put your knowledge to good use, you'll find that the hindrances which once held you back are very easily transmutable. The fear of being hurt stops many seekers from finding and acting on their greater connections, and if you carry any particularly heavy or painful emotions within that could block your spiritual perception, you're encouraged to uproot them, shine your light on them and transmute them. You can't let anything hold you back in this important stage of the game, and we'll make our final expressions for this communication with the utmost faith in your ability to be the shining conduits of light you know you can be. It's more important than ever to shine your light for the rest of your planet to feel and benefit from, and you don't gain anything from blocking your perception of your light in favor of things that don't fill you with nearly as much wholeness or elation. Expressing your light will help you feel better than almost anything else, and along with the aforementioned higher vibrational practices, such as channeling, meditation, etc., you'll find that you're endowed with a greater level of light than you would have ever thought possible. Once you discover this, you can use your abilities as energy transmitters to complete various creative works and practices that would have previously seemed beyond your capability. You'll discover that you're capable of much greater things than you realize, and you'll act on these greater capabilities in a future of absolute love, joy, and harmony on the part of all of humanity. This future isn't far off, but humanity will repel it if the majority of your population continues to live in greed, and refuse to come together and choose love over the division that's caused so much strife and agony. Thank you to my higher self and spiritual guides. Channeled through Wes Anak. cultureofawareness.com